Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Nicole observed EJ's fall from grace, Harris's alert, and John's plan for redemption. Developing every day of our lives. Stephen DiMera's police confession comes as a shock to EJ DiMera. Harris Michaels issues an alert to Ava Vitale. John Black also shares with Marlena Evans his strategy for resolving his conflict with Constantine Meliunis. According to DOL teasers, Jude Brady's biological mother is Nicole. Nicole and the majority of people in Salem are unaware of this, though. Even though Sloane Peterson Brady had a few near misses, she has managed to escape being busted. Eric observes the conversation between Nicole and Sloane while he arranges Jude's christening. A sneak peek shows Sloane ordering Nicole to skip the christening. Additionally, there are scenes that illustrate how tenderly and affectionately Nicole is holding Jude. There's a hint that Eric will watch Nicole and Sloane talk about Jude's christening on Friday's episode. Eric may observe Nicole's tenderness with Jude in contrast to Sloane's apathy and jealousy of the young child. Eric will be quite irritated if he hears Sloane's demand as well. On March 22, Friday, EJ receives some unexpected news. EJ will find out that Stefan confessed to Jada Hunter and handed himself in. Stefan claimed to be the only one participating, and he coerced Ava into doing as he asked. EJ will lose it all at once when he finds out that Stefan handed himself in, fearing for his freedom and possibly even his DA job. Even when Stefan begged EJ to help, he refused to help despite knowing about the crimes. Nicole's distress at Holly Jonas' coma was the only time EJ showed any concern. EJ probably wouldn't have cared a rat's booty about the situation if that hadn't happened. According to previews for Friday, March 22, Ava will receive a warning from Harris on Days of Our Lives. Harris will let Ava know that Stefan's deal might not be as good as it seems. It would appear that EJ might thwart any plea agreements Stefan might be making with the police. John will explain to Marlena his strategy for resolving his differences with Constantine on Friday, March 22. John is going to personally apologize to Constantine. John then intends to tell the police what he did. We question whether John was ever guilty in the first place, though. Furthermore, Constantine opposes John being imprisoned. Constantine desires to turn him back into the pawn. On Friday, March 22, which plot line are you most anticipating seeing? Post your ideas in the space provided for comments below. Don't forget to keep watching Peacock soap opera to see what happens next. A near-death experience and defeating Clyde are exactly what the couple needs. We can't think of a better individual to get rid of Clyde and establish himself in one masterful move than the villain, who has tormented many people in Johnny's family as well as the entire community of Salem. Better still? Janelle might develop a desire for adventure as a result of the encounter, particularly if they emerge victorious. Who knows, maybe it might encourage Johnny to eventually land a job and follow step-granddad John into the PI industry. Next are Wendy and Tripp. Johnny and Chanel paid the two a visit in the hospital not too long ago, following their own close calls with death at the hands of Clyde and Goldman. After circling around in several combinations, they all came to realize they belonged together and formed a relationship. What if Tripp and Wendy have also gained a renewed passion for life after resolving their own situation? The two couples may get together and go on adventures akin to those of the bygone eras when supercouples were common. That would finally give them a purpose other than to sustain their families and lust after each other. Additionally, since the show is investing in what might be the next wave of supercouples, it could go a long way toward having fans care about them. Since their parents and grandparents are doing all the saving, exploring, and having adventures, there is no explanation why the young couples are so boring. This isn't how you pique viewers' interest in couples or the upcoming generation in general. Working with the Salem Police Department, Wendy is already in a position to assist in investigating cases and identifying suspects to take out. Furthermore, we are aware that she is far more capable than the show has shown her. Recall Wendy and Tripp battling the brainwashed Black Patch and pursuing the Prism in Beyond Salem 2? Alternatively, consider the time that Johnny and Wendy were traveling the world, smearing dirt on their relatives, and fending off Dr. Rolf's mind-wiping serum. Then there is Trip, who has a very dark side. Do you recall when he expressed a desire to murder Kayla, and whose father worked as a super spy, detective, and mercenary? And Chanel used to be such a con artist that she married Xander in an effort to obtain his imaginary wealth. It's time to ignite the fire within each of these individuals that hasn't been seen recently. This was all quite recent. Characters should be allowed to develop and mature, but that doesn't mean they have to have dull lives. Hopefully, Janelle will encounter Salem's bad guys while on their honeymoon, which would not only eliminate Clyde from the game board but also cause two couples to take thrilling new turns. Is Xander's horrible dream a premonition of Sarah and Victoria being abducted? Days of Our Lives spoilers suggest that Xander Cook didn't sleep much after being let free on bond. Xander fell asleep with Sarah Horton, feeling passionate about her, and woke up scared from a nightmare. In the Days episode from March 19, Xander reported seeing Sarah holding Victoria Horton Cook as they headed down a far-off tunnel. When Xander finally made it to the tunnel, Sarah and Victoria had departed, so sadly, he was unable to get to his family. After Sarah told him it was just a dream, Xander wondered what had caused it. It was related to the charges that Xander believed were still unresolved. Perhaps that nightmare carried a heavier burden than that. What if there was more to that nightmare than meets the eye? Was it motivated by a premonition? Although Susan Banks isn't here to explain things to us, she would probably remark that seems like some sort of grim prophecy for the future. If Xander is concerned about being locked away forever, then why did Sarah and Victoria travel into that tunnel and become lost? It appeared as though Victoria and Sarah were the ones having problems. Perhaps if there's a kidnapping scenario, Xander will realize that his interpretation of the dream was incorrect. Xander may get some unexpected news that completely changes his viewpoint. Day spoilers suggest that Sarah and Victoria could be abducted at any time, especially if Constantine Melaluni's walls close behind them. If Constantine's plan to deceive Maggie Kyriakis out of the Kyriakis bequest ultimately fails, may he kidnap Sarah and Victoria and keep them for ransom? That might be something to consider, especially if Xander's nightmare signals things to come. Maybe the dream will help Xander when he finds out later in Days that Sarah and Victoria are actually being held captive in a tunnel. Sarah talked about hope for the future as she tried to console Xander about his nightmare. If Xander is able to save Sarah and Victoria, then that could also be the case in real life. Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Xander, Victoria, and Sarah are in for more trouble. For more on all the action, stay put.